Naviance, and Naviance is a tool that we use on campus. All students have access to this account, and it is a college and career research tool. So I will be jumping back and forth from my PowerPoint presentation to Naviance website, so I can give you guys that tutorial of how to use the different aspects of Naviance. If at any point during the presentation you cannot see what I'm doing, just go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know, and I will try and make sure that we're all on the same page. All right, let's get going. So again, this is going to be an overview of Naviance and how to use that system. It is a college and career research tool that our district pays for. So not all school districts have access to this. It's a really great research tool designed for college and career. We use it heavily in the senior year, but we really want to encourage students to start their research early. And start using that tool in, earlier years, hopefully starting in 9th grade year. So all students have access to a Naviance account. Parents also have access to an account. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to show you guys how you actually find the login for Naviance. So right now I'm going to stop sharing my presentation and I'm going to jump over to share my Naviance screen. So if you cannot see Naviance, please let me know. All right, my Naviance screen should be popping up. Someone just give me like a yes if you can see my Naviance screen. You could put it in the chat, would work too. Yes, okay, we can see Naviance. Okay, so this is the home page of Naviance. Sorry, I'm going to jump over here to the Mountain House High website because I want to show you guys how to log in first. So on the Mountain House High website, you would go to counseling and you would click on our counseling home screen. The counseling home screen, there is going to be several choices for you to choose from here on the right. We have a ton of information on the counseling website. So if you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. You are going to be looking for Naviance and college entrance. There are a lot of resources located on this Naviance and college entrance. For our juniors, they just received a presentation in their class just a couple weeks ago, so they could go back and watch that presentation. There's also some links and resources here. You want to look for this student login horseshoe, and I apologize if you can hear my dog in the background. The student login horseshoe is what students will click on to get to the Naviance login page. Once they get there, they're going to log in with Clever like they do for several of their other accounts. And you should be able to log in automatically by using that login with Clever. So don't try and put your email in there. You are going to do login with Clever. And if you do it right, you're going to get to this home screen right here. All right, let's jump back to my PowerPoint. So that's the how to get into. So let's talk a little bit about some of the features in Naviance. So like I was saying earlier, it's primarily a college and career research tool. There is also a scholarship aspect to it, some scholarship searching that can be done, but it's primarily used for career and college research. So we're going to start in the career area. They have a really great option for students to take a test, a career interest profiler test, to give them some information about their interests, what some of their strengths may be, and pull all of that information together in order to give them results that could point them in directions of possible career choices that may fit for them based off of their interests and what they said some of their strengths were. This career interest profiler is based off the Holland Code. If anybody's heard of the Holland Code, it is a theory by Dr. John Holland. He was a psychologist. He started his career in the 1950s and worked on this career code his entire career. So basically it categorizes individuals in 6 categories: realistic, conventional, investigative, enterprising, social, and artistic. So it kind of gives you a top 1, 2, or 3 that you fall into based off of your interests. So the test is pretty short, or the career interest profiler is pretty short for students to do. It only takes them about 15 minutes. And it's a really great starting point for people who are not really sure what they want to do. So this is something that I would highly recommend all of our freshmen do as soon as, they get access to this Naviance account. All right, so now I'm going to show you in Naviance where you will find that career interest profiler. Again, if you cannot see my screen, I am on the Naviance homepage right now. So if you unmute yourself and say, we can't see it, I will make sure I fix that. But when you're on your homepage, there's going to be several of these drop-down bars up here. You are going to look for the self-discovery and click on that. You will see the career interest profiler right there. And this is where you'll be able to go and learn a little bit about the exam and, kind of some of the stuff I was just sharing with you. You can start your assessment. Again, it only takes about 15 minutes. It's going to ask you or say a statement, and you have to click the answer that's going to match your personality or your interests most closely. So there is 60 questions. So however long it takes you to get through those 60 questions, again, it predicts about 15 minutes. You will be able to, figure out hopefully some of your interests. All right, let's move back to my PowerPoint. This video is being recorded, so if you missed something, don't worry. I'm going to post it on the website tomorrow, and I'll also post the PowerPoint so you can look at the slides if you need to. All right. So the next piece I want to look at is once hopefully your student does, or yourself, you do the career interest profiler, hopefully you can go into this next section, which is exploring career clusters and pathways. And it allows the student to start really, really broad. You can see some of the options on there and narrow down their search. So they can start really broad with a subject like maybe finance, and look at specific careers that fall under finance, what some of the career outlooks look like for those careers, salary information, and you can even see information about what you would maybe major in if you chose one of those careers. So this is a really great option for people who are, again, not really sure what they want to do. I would recommend starting with the career interest profiler, and based on your results from that, checking out some of the more broad career topics in this career clusters and pathways, and kind of explore some of the different career options that may be available to you that may match with your personality and your interests and your strengths. So now we're going to jump back over and I will show you where that exploring clusters and pathway is, and I'll also show you some examples from it. So I'm moving back over to my Naviance account right now. Again, you should be seeing the home screen. So if you're not seeing the home screen, please let me know. To find the career clusters and pathways, you're going to go up in here under careers, and you are going to say explore clusters and pathways. You can see there's several other options. So of course you can look into any of those. There's really a lot to explore on here. But for today's purposes, we're going to look at explore clusters and pathways. So like I was talking about, it starts really, really broad. So I know a lot of our students at Mountain House are interested in health science. So maybe you know that you're interested in working in the health field, you just have no idea where you want to go. You could start by clicking on the little drop down, and it's going to give you a bunch of different options that is a little bit more specific. So maybe I'm really interested in diagnosing health, so something kind of in that diagnostic field. Once I click on that, it's going to give me even more information, give you a little bit of an overview of that career. Like I said, it has employment outlook data, what type of credentials someone would need in order to have that career, maybe related occupations. Maybe, you know, after reading this, that sounded close to what you were interested in, but not exactly. You could look at some stuff that might be related. And also, I really love this option, the related majors, because you can start from the career and even get to a point where you can find possible majors that you may need to major in if you want to do that career. So again, a lot to look through on here, some really great options. And I found that by heading up to our drop bar, clicking on careers, and exploring clusters and pathways. You are able to heart and favorite stuff as you are looking through this information. When you do, it'll get added to your list. So there is a careers and clusters list where if you are seeing a career that you are interested in, you can heart it or favorite it, and it's going to save it for you so you can come back to it a different day, or maybe have all of your careers that you might be interested in located in one spot, and you can kind of compare and contrast. All right, so I'm going to jump back to our PowerPoint over here. Again, let me know if you can't see it once I start moving along. All right, one of the biggest and best parts of, in my opinion, about Naviance is the college research tool. So there's a lot that students can do for the college research, and this is definitely something I recommend starting early. We just went and spoke with all of our juniors. We definitely recommend our juniors start their college research now and through the summer, and hopefully they'll have a list of about 10 to 20 schools that they're interested in applying to during their senior year by the time August comes around and school starts. So I'm going to show you a couple of different aspects for college research. One of them is called Supermatch. And Supermatch is a college research tool which allows you to apply filters to search for schools based on specific requirements. So you can put based on location, academics, admissions, student life, diversity, institution characteristics, costs, athletics, resources, so many different options to kind of play around and find really the perfect school for you. So we are going to look at this. So I will be hopping off my PowerPoint again and hopping back over to Naviance home screen. So again, I am on my home screen right now. If you can't see it, let me know. To find our college Supermatch tool, this time we're going to click under colleges. The other nice thing about Naviance is it's pretty easy use. It's not too difficult to, once you figure it out, not too difficult to use. So under colleges over here on the left-hand side, you will find Supermatch college search under this find your fit category. I'm going to click on that. And it's already got a couple of my filters in here, so I'm going to remove those. When you first log in, this is what you're going to see. You're going to have all your different filters here up at the top, just like I was sharing with you from the PowerPoint. And once you start adding to the criteria, it's going to fall into either the must-have category or the nice to have category. I usually just work off of the must-have category. A little bit of a tip: if you put too many filters, you're probably not going to get any results because maybe you made your search a little bit too narrow. So if you apply a ton of filters and you don't get any colleges that pop up, just try and pull back on some of those filters and play around on it. Let's do an example just so you guys are familiar with how to use it at home. I'm going to start with location. Maybe I am a student that is only interested in schools in California. So I'm going to put California in there. But if you are a student that's open to California, Washington, and Oregon, you could put all three of those states in there. But we're going to just do California today for today. I can even, select by U.S. region. I can put if I want to find schools that are located in like a large city or maybe a small city. Maybe you're tired of being in Mountain House and you want to go live in a large city. You can find colleges by using that filter. But for today, I'm just going to put California in there and see what comes up. I'm going to move over to my academics filter. I'm going to click on bachelor's because I'm looking for 4-year degrees for this example. But if I was a student that was interested in community colleges, you could look for associates or certificates degrees. Maybe you're looking for schools that have a doctorate degree in something specific. You want to start there for your bachelor's and finish with your doctorate degree there. You could just look for doctorate or master's, graduate level. Whatever you fancy, you can input in here. So for today's purposes, I'm just going to put accounting and finance. But again, you can use this filter how you wish and put whatever major you're interested in and search for minors if you want to. I'm going to add one more filter just for the sake of our example today. But as you can see, there's multiple filters that you can apply. For me, let's say I'm looking for campuses that have above a 50% admission rate. So I'm going to click these ones here so I can get that data. I also am able to put my GPA in here. So you could put your GPA in there if you want, and it's going to compare your GPA to that average GPA for the school. So let's just put those for now. I have my one location, California, my one major, accounting and finance, and then I had those above a 50% admissions rate. Once I scroll down, I'm going to see the schools that match my what I said I wanted. The fit score, if it says 100%, that means it's got 100% of the things that I wanted. Sometimes it'll say 85 or 87 for here, for example. That means it's only got 87% of the things that I wanted. But you can see I had a pretty strong list. You're able to click on the title of the school to get more information about the school. There's a little bit of just kind of overview that you can see here in some of these boxes. I can see my GPA that I put in. For our example, I said I was a 3.7 student. And for CSU Chico, their average GPA is looking like a 3.25 right now for students getting accepted. So again, this is a really great research tool for students to be able to find campuses that apply to them. Maybe they're looking for schools that have a very specific major or a specific sport. Maybe your child wants to be part of the NCAA organization and play college athletics, and they need to find schools that have a specific sport or organizations, clubs, sororities, fraternities, so many things that you can play around with on here and really pick your school that matches you most closely. All right, let's jump back over to my PowerPoint. All right, so one of the other really great features about Naviance is that each year we collect data on our seniors before they leave us and graduate. So we collect data on like their GPA, what schools they applied to, where they were accepted, what school they're attending. And all of that data allows us to help future Mustangs evaluate their school choices. So we often get asked as counselors, what GPA do I need to get into blank school? It's hard for counselors to give an exact formula to get accepted into a specific campus because there's too many variables at play. For example, the school that you're applying for, the major that you're applying for, your GPA, your extracurricular activities, who else is applying that year, and so many more things. So it's really impossible for us to say, if you do this, you will get accepted here. However, we do have this data that we've been collecting from previous Mountain House High students. Our current Mountain House High students are able to access this information and determine what the average GPA may look like to get accepted into a specific campus. A little bit of a hint about it, though, is that you're only able to see the student's GPA and if they were accepted or denied. This does not tell you what major they applied for at that campus. And the major you apply for can have a significant impact on the admissions decision. Some of those impacted majors, like some of our STEM majors, computer science, engineering, nursing, we see those be impacted across a lot of the campuses. Typically, you're going to need a more elevated, higher GPA if you're applying to an impacted campus. So let me show you guys this data and how to access it, because again, it's an amazing part of what Naviance has to offer. Once you guys can see it on the screen, I think it'll be a little bit easier to understand. So to get to this information, you are going to use this search bar here at the top on your home screen. It's a very sensitive system. So if you don't type that title exactly how they want to see it, it's not going to find it for you. So for the best research purposes, I say stick really short. So for example, I'm going to look up UC Davis. I'm not going to type in UC Davis. I'm just going to type in Davis. Because they call it University of California Davis. And unless I typed it exactly like that, it wouldn't have popped up. So if you research a school and it's not coming up, just try and play around with how you're trying to find that. So I found my UC Davis campus. I'm going to click on that here. The first thing it's going to show me is an overview, once it loads, an overview of the campus. So it kind of gives you a little bit about the cost, the graduation rate, acceptance rate, deadline. Just a little tip, the best place to find this information is going to be on the school's official website, because it's always subject to change. And the school's official website is going to be much more updated than Naviance. Naviance is pretty accurate, but for specific numbers, especially like tuition costs and stuff like that, I definitely recommend looking at the school's actual website. This is just kind of a good starting point for you. Over here in admissions is the data that we want to see. So I'm going to click on admissions. If I scroll down, I'm going to see our high school's application history. So for the class of 2022, last year's graduating class, we had 166 people apply to UC Davis. We had 39 people accepted, and we have 15 people that are currently enrolled at UC Davis from last year's graduating class. You can see how many people have applied from this year's graduating class, but we haven't collected our data yet. So you can't see who's been accepted or who's enrolled, but that information will be available when you start looking next year. Anyways, you can see the rest of our previous years. You can see that the data gets less and less as the years get in the later years. And that's because we were a new campus and our data collection hadn't been refined at that point. So 2020 or 2019 and beyond is pretty accurate, strong data. All right, if I scroll down, it's going to show me the scattergram. The scattergram has these red X's. It has green checks, purple circles, and a few other circles, green circles and red circles. So these X's are all students that applied and were denied. Our green check marks are going to be students that were accepted into the campus. A purple circle means they were waitlisted. And then if you see a green purple circle, it's waitlisted, accepted. Red circle would be waitlisted, denied. Our waitlisted data is a little bit harder for us to collect just because students have usually left for summer by the time they figure out if they were accepted or denied from the waitlist. But it does give us a good view of our students who were accepted during that first round and denied during the first round. What this is going to do is you're going to see this checked line right here, and that's showing you the average GPA of a student that was accepted into this campus. So for UC Davis, the average GPA of the Mountain House High student that was accepted is a 4.37. Okay, so pretty high. A lot of our UC campuses are going to fall in a similar range with the exception of like UC Merced, maybe UC Riverside, but the UC campuses are competitive. we always share this information with our students, but I think, it's a lot different when you see it in front of your face and see the data in front of your face. So if you're ever curious about a campus, see if we have Naviance data on it, and then come and check out what that average GPA may look like. Again, the hard piece about this is that it doesn't tell us what major they applied for. So this person down here that got accepted with a 4.0, or even this person down here that got accepted with a 3.6, potentially they applied to a non-impacted major within this campus. So it was less competitive for that individual to get in. Or maybe they had really strong personal insight questions, those essay questions that you are required to write for a UC campus. Maybe they had really strong essay questions, and that allowed them to earn their admission. It's hard for us to say, but it does give us a little bit of information about what it looks like for a Mountain House High student to apply and who's getting accepted. All right, let me head back to my PowerPoint. Okay. This was just, these PowerPoint slides are just kind of showing what I just went over with you guys. So those are on there. If you need to come back and access this, the PowerPoint, you'll be able to access kind of step by step how do you get to this information, but you'll also be able to see the recording. All right, now what? So once you've learned more about your interest and possible career opportunities, you should take part in activities that are going to give you an opportunity to learn more about the career or subject more deeply to determine if you actually do want to do it. I knew graduating from high school that I really was interested in helping people. I thought I wanted to be in kind of the health world. So I started as a nursing major, but as soon as I took anatomy and started taking those labs, I realized, wow, I really don't like this at all. So I ended up in counseling. I was still helping people, but just in a different way. So until you really go and try and sample some of these things, you may not know 100% if you want to do it or not. So we recommend students that, find something that they think they're interested in to start taking classes at Mountain House High School or at another institution like Delta College, related to the career field that was recommended to you, or related to whatever subject matter is kind of popping up as, a strength for you. We also recommend job shadowing someone that works in the field, maybe volunteering at like a health clinic or volunteering really anywhere related to the field that you are interested in. Of course, find an internship if possible. Those can be a little bit harder to come by. A little recommendation for students who are maybe going to come to their counselor and say, well, how do I find job shadowing opportunities? How do I find internships? Well, honestly, sometimes you just need to look up contacts for every single individual in the area that you can find that's related to that career field that you're interested in. Send them an email with maybe your resume and a little paragraph about you, who you are, what you're trying to accomplish. You can request job shadowing opportunities, volunteer opportunities, even internship opportunities. And yes, you're probably going to send lots of emails where you will not get a response, but you very well get something back and find an opportunity that way. So I know when I was in school, that's how I found opportunities. You had to email every individual in the area. Again, lots of no's, but I did get a few yeses. So that's something that you could do over the summer while you have a little bit more free time. You could also look for summer opportunities related to your field of interest. If you've never heard of the website High School Navigator or HS Navigator, that's a good one to go find, like summer programs and summer internship opportunities. Sometimes they are cost of fee, but sometimes they're free. So it just kind of depends. The counseling department would never recommend that you necessarily have to pay for a summer program in order to advance into your career or major that you're interested in. You can if you're in the financial position to do so, but we never say that you are required or feel like you need to pay for a summer program. It's also a good idea to visit college campuses. I know that's how I ultimately ended up making my decision. When I was choosing my college, I thought I was going one place. And then once I visited the campus of the other, that changed my decision. So visiting college campuses really gives you a great opportunity to learn that campus and get a feel for that campus. And we also recommend speaking with college admissions counselors about what requirements may be needed to apply, especially with those private schools. We base our college requirements off the A through G requirements, which is for our public schools here in California, those UC campuses and those CSU campuses. The requirements may be different for private campuses, or out-of-state campuses. So always best to follow up with the admissions counselor on that campus in order to get the most accurate information. Admissions counselors are happy to meet with students and answer questions at any point in their high school career. So in ninth grade, if you want to know something about Stanford University, you can reach out to their admissions department and they will answer any questions you may have. So definitely utilize them as a resource. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the presentation, Naviance does have a parent portal option. If you want to activate your parent portal, you have to email your student's counselor because it's not an automatic, like you guys don't automatically have access to it like the students do. We have to activate your parent account from your student account. So if you're interested in doing that, you can send an email to your student's counselor and we will activate that for you. It'll attach it to the email that's listed in Aries and we'll be able to send you a temporary password for you to go and change it. All right, any questions? And we have about 8 minutes left, so a little bit of time for questions. If you want to post them in the chat, feel free to do so. I will do my best to answer. And if we don't get any questions, we'll probably just log off so we can start preparing for our next presentation. Our next presentation is going to be Success and Wellness in College. And it's going to be given by our 2 counseling interns that are here with us this semester, Lynn and Ashley. So that's a really great one to watch. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for that one at 6 o'clock. So I'm not seeing any questions come through for the chat. Maybe that means I hit everything. I know I was talking a lot at you guys tonight. I will give it a couple more minutes and see if anybody has questions for me. If not, we'll probably just log off a little bit early. And I apologize if you guys heard my dog barking in the background. So I got a question asking if I can share Naviance with someone who may be interested in NCAA. So yes, let me share what someone might do if they were interested in playing a college sport. If you are interested in being part of college athletics and playing a college sport, one, start the process early. Request a meeting with your counselor now. I don't care what grade you are. If you are in 11th grade, this is something you should have done a month ago. But if you're in 9th and 10th, you can request a meeting with your counselor now about getting information about NCAA. I also recommend going back and watching our presentation that was given the other night about NCAA and its requirements. Mrs. Gammons gave a presentation and the PowerPoint and video are already located online. So I'd recommend going back and watching that. But let me show you what you might do on Naviance if you were interested in finding maybe a specific college for sports. So if I'm someone that plays a sport, maybe I'm okay with moving anywhere, right? I want to find anything that's available in the United States that is going to give me an opportunity to play my sport. Hopefully I'll be able to get a scholarship, but sometimes those can be few and far between. I'm going to put bachelor's because I am looking for a bachelor's degree. And maybe you know, again, I'm just interested in accounting and finance. So I'm going to put my major in there and the bachelor's degree. So I'm only looking at schools that have bachelor's degree in accounting and finance. Admissions, maybe I'm okay with whatever acceptance rate they have. I just want to see it all. Student life, again, I'm okay with whatever student life they got going, because the most important thing to me is my sport. We didn't show this earlier, but I do love the diversity aspect. You can really specify the different diversity aspects on here that they have. So let's go over here to our athletics. I'm going to add a sport. Maybe I'm a male and I'm looking for basketball. Okay, I'm looking for men's basketball teams. And maybe I'm okay with, you know, it doesn't matter if it's intramural, club, or varsity. But if I want to play at a professional level, I'm probably wanting that varsity, NCAA level. For division, so division 1, 2, or 3, I'm open. So I'm just going to leave that. Okay. So now I can see that I have my one sport that I added, basketball, men's basketball for NCAA. And I also have my major added there. I have 123 institutions that are going to have my major that I want and that varsity level NCAA sport that I want. I didn't specify on this one that I wanted like Division 1, but maybe for you, you only want to find Division 1 schools or maybe Division 2 schools. You could specify that. I just didn't do that for the sake of our example. So that's how I would do that if I was looking for an NCAA sport. I know that was kind of quick, but we're just running low on time. Let me go back to my chat. We have a question that says, do you have a lot of students graduating from Mountain House High School and attending community college to apply for the TAG pathway? Is it easier to get admitted to the UCs through the transfer pathway? Well, for the TAG program, we do tend to see that admissions rates from community college into a 4-year are higher than applying as a first-time freshman immediately out of your senior year. So yes, admission rates are higher when transferring from a community college into a 4-year campus. What was the second part of that question? Oh, and do we have a lot of students attending community college? So last year, I think and this is on our school report on the website, but I think last year we had about 60 that applied for 4 years, 60% of our students, about 40% heading to maybe community college and other plans. So I would say that's kind of a real rough estimate, but about 60 towards 4-year, 40% towards community college. In my opinion, I think community college is a great option, especially if you're just looking to get your general education out of the way. The first 2 years are focused on general education anyways. Save that tuition money, attend that community college, possibly open up the colleges you're allowed to go to by transferring. So many positives to attending community college. What info is needed for parents to have access? I'm guessing what info is needed to access that Naviance account. If you want to access the Naviance account, the parent Naviance account, send an email to your student's counselor. That's located on the counseling homepage. They will be able to activate your parent Naviance account, and you'll get an email directly from Naviance about your login email and a temporary password and a link to reset your new password. So if you want the Naviance, sorry, we're running out of time here. We only have about 60 seconds left, but if you want parent Naviance account, send an email to your counselor. All right, I think we did it. Thank you guys for joining us. We have about a minute left. Our next presentation is coming up in about 20 minutes. I am going to hop over there, probably not until about 5:55. So wait until then to log in, because there'll be nobody in there up until that point. If you're going to be joining us, thank you all for coming tonight. I hope this was helpful.